YouTube channel. This is your girl, Coach Corey, and I'm here. This is part 2 with my a woman who I greatly admire, a powerhouse, an encourager. And we already did part 1, so if you have not watched part 1, please go and watch it. So I'm happy to welcome you back.
Thank you. Thank you
and
for having
thank
me.
you again. Started something the last time. You shared about the mindset.
Yes.
And I know that has been very key on the forefront in terms of why you know how you got to where you are. So walk us through that journey.
All right. So this is what I was saying about the mindset. For a long time I struggled with this old mentality that I couldn't do this, I couldn't do that. But deep inside I knew that I could, but I lacked the resources and the information on how I could get to do that which I was created to do.
My people perish for
lack of knowledge. And so when I read this book, The 4 Agreements, one of the things that it talked about is personal freedom, when you're able to be that which God created you to be. And what that meant is that, you know how when we're born as children, remember when I was telling you when I was young I used to write?
Yes.
So well that actually I did very well in writing. But then there was this community that was telling me, you can't write that. It's too much. You know, you're too young to write that. It wasn't bad stuff. I just had a very imaginative mind. And so that's what happens when we are young. We are expressive. We are unhidden. We are unlimited.
So would it be fair to say that the environment you were in was unfamiliar with your gifts?
Let me say it was unfamiliar because that's all they knew. And
right,
now
to
here
the best
I
of
come.
their ability. Yes.
And here I come. Now I'm writing. Seriously, I'm writing things that could be put into a movie.
Wow.
Okay? And so I was used to being told, you can't do this, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't write. You know, go do math, go learn sciences. Whoever got rich from writing. And then I started having.
So that's what you were hearing at home. Whoever got rich from writing, because it was not seen as something that.
Oh no! Nobody ever got rich from writing in newspapers. Me, I was writing imaginary newspapers. Like I would go into the coffee plantation. I would go into the farm and interview maize, and the maize would talk to me.
Purity.
I'm serious.
You were talking to maize.
I was asking questions. I was writing about trees. I was writing about the nature. And so what happened is I grew up feeling and hearing I cannot.
So you grew up boxed.
Yes, and then I come and find that there is something called freedom. And freedom is when you are able to express yourself and you are able to do that which God ordained you to do. The day I found that I could do that, and I didn't have to worry about what people thought, because what I wrote, what I thought, what I did was right inside, and it didn't bother me. Like there was no accusation in my conscience. So I went and did it. And so this is what happened. I started realizing that I was becoming a better person.
So all this came from reading that book?
That book.
So that book really should have just been written for purity.
Oh yeah, I should have written that book.
Wow.
So I when I started to put into practice that book, because it doesn't just talk about personal freedom, but personal freedom comes from knowing who you are, knowing what you are created to do, but also knowing how to live a life of integrity. When your word counts for your word. When you say what you mean, when you don't sit here and make assumptions, you don't make all things about you.
Come on.
And when you have to do, when everything you do is the best. Like, let me tell you, Corey, I'm sitting here. I'm being the best. I'm not waiting for Christian Amanpool to come and interview me. I'm giving you the energy that I would give Larry King life.
Hallelujah.
Okay?
Thank you, my sister.
So for me, when I read that book, I started practicing the 4 agreements.
Okay.
And then I started realizing.
So will you be sharing with us about the 4 agreements?
I will. In a nutshell. And so this is what happened. I read that book, started practicing seriously, walking into those 4 agreements, put them into practice, and I started winning battles that I never Corey, I used to be in drama, not drama festival. I used to be in drama with my friends.
Okay.
I used to be involved in things I wasn't supposed to be involved in because I was into everybody's business.
Okay.
But in this book, I learned to be cautious with what I say, keep my word, not make assumptions, not take anything personal.
So it made you a better person. Even to relate with.
Girl, yes. I fell in love with myself.
My dear, I think that is the one thing we have. Many of us do not know how to
I fell in love with myself so much because I started enjoying being with me.
You started enjoying your own company.
Oh my God, I started loving, because at the end of the day, I didn't have to go before God and repent for things that I said, assumptions that I made. I didn't have my ego broken because I was thinking I was all that and more. Yet I was not living a good life. So I just started enjoying myself. And so this is what I decided to do. I was going to convert everybody to be like me. So I went online one day and I said, listen, ladies.
When you said you wanted to convert everyone to be like you, mean to have that freedom?
Oh, I wanted everybody to have that freedom.
Okay. I just want to make sure people don't misunderstand
that. Oh, I wasn't forming a cult. So what I did, I went and started a class. I went on live and I said, listen, there's hope for people who are in drama. There's hope for people who want to find their personal freedom.
When you say drama, you mean people whose lives are just full of drama?
Oh yeah. Okay. People who, you're involved in every village fight, county fight or city fight, yeah?
When people see the fighters, they know you are there.
Oh yeah. When there's a social media fight, you are in it. When there is Twitter fight, you are a
keyboard warrior.
Yes.
So you are talking to us about the 4 agreements.
Yes.
And how now, after learning these things, you decided you'd like to help other people.
Yes.
To get their personal freedom. So you went and is it on Facebook?
I actually went on Facebook. You know how I was so high on myself. As in, I was feeling so good about the results that I was seeing. I was enjoying the relationships. And this is what happened. I became so aware of the many people I had offended by being in their business. And now that I was no longer offending people, I was feeling, free. Nobody is accusing me of having said something about them, of looking them down. And so I started feeling, you know what? This is what the world needs. And I'm going to offer this class. And I remember going on Facebook Live and saying, I'm going to have this class. If you're interested, inbox me. And then I turned off my computer and I was like, what did I just do? And when I opened my inbox and there were so many people.
Really?
Yes. And I was so not confident on myself. When I told people to show up in class, I had a nightmare. I actually dreamt that nobody would show up. And so when I sent the Zoom link for people to show up in class, I was so sure nobody was going to show up. And then people showed up, and it was so apparent that this was a much needed conversation.
Yeah.
And so that's how I started teaching.
Okay.
And let me tell you, the people who have left my class, even before they graduated from my 6-week courses, I started to see a transformation. It was like day and night. Somebody who would be in every drama, they were no longer in every drama. And they would say, Coach, I was going to respond. And then the fact that you would find me responding, because this is what happened. We have to become accountable to somebody.
Yes.
And so because they were in my class, they became accountable to the other students. And so even me, I'm very, very aware of the things that are right, because I know there are people who are looking up to me to say something good.
Yes.
And if I'm just there keyboard warrioring, it's not helping. And there are people who will be like, oh, that coach? No, I don't want to be in her class.
Yeah.
So I started seeing transformations. And then I got so encouraged. The next time I offered that class, I put a price on it, because the more we grow, I had grown something. I had grown to develop good content for my second phase. I offered a class at a fee, and I was so sure, who pays for these things? Some of the people who had been in my previous class, they were like, we want back.
And
they went and referred their friends, and their friends referred their friends, and I've been doing this for almost 2 years.
Wow.
Yes.
So you've been busy inspiring.
I've been busy inspiring.
And you've been busy motivating.
And empowering, impacting lives. Because
Wow.
this is why I was created. To connect people, to connect with people, inspire people, transform lives, and empower.
Hallelujah.
Yeah.
Wow, that is so amazing, period. She is such an amazing woman with an amazing personality.
Yes.
And so you're here in Atlanta
Yes.
to share some of that knowledge
Yes.
with us tomorrow. You have
No,
a
this is
session.
what happened.
Okay.
I got into a coaching, into a mastermind with my
Okay.
coach Gina Darrell. Then she challenged us. She said, "You've eaten a lot from me. Now go feed others." And I was so confident that I would be a good coach. And so she invited me amongst so many other women to speak at this conference.
And what I love about this is we have the answers to our problems.
Yes.
We don't need people to write our story.
No.
And that's what I'm loving about what you're doing. You're empowering our people to be able to take on their own gifts.
Yes.
And live authentically.
Oh, God, yes.
Unapologetically. You shared in the previous video you did that you were born in rural Kenya and you went to school without shoes, and it's okay.
Yeah.
Now not everybody went through that experience, but that's your story.
It is
and
my
you
story.
own it. And we need to get to that place where we own our story.
Yeah.
And don't let somebody convolute your story and make it look like it's a privilege to do this for you or do that for you.
Absolutely.
You have worked hard to get to where you are. And so I thank you so much.
Of course.
I'm excited. I hope also we'll have another time when maybe I'll come to California.
Yeah.
And by
Please
the
do.
beach.